system in place to keep us in chains. By show of hands, who else is sick and tired of the same 1%? Trying to keep us small, trying to keep us from getting out. Minimizing the struggles they've caused, saying we're not working hard enough.
We really should stop this fighting. Otherwise, we'll miss the fireworks.
There won't be any fireworks.
And here we go.
And welcome, everybody, to Suck It! I am the great and powerful King of Kings, Prince of all that is awesome. Derek, how the fuck is everybody tonight on this Friday, November 20th of the horrible year that has been 2020? The week is over. The weekend is upon us. And next week is Thanksgiving. Holy fuck. Next week is Thanksgiving. This year is just, I've said it a couple times this week, but this year has just gone fucking by so fast, at least for me. I know some people this year has just dragged on, one piece of shit day after the other, but you know what? I'm trying to keep it positive. I'm trying to keep it real. I'm trying to, have fun with it. But you know what? I get to come on every day and talk to you guys. So maybe that's what makes it a little bit easier. Because you guys are fucking awesome. That's all I got to say about that. But tonight, I got an awesome guest with me tonight. And we'll also talk some nerdy news, too. Some developments going on over at DC, which I think are rather funny and interesting at the same time. We'll talk about that. And some news coming out of Marvel today and some other stuff. We'll talk more about that after our interview. So we'll definitely talk about that in the 9 o'clock hour. But first, music. Music, music, and more music. And that's what I do best on the show. I do music best, and then I do acting and everything else after. So continuing on with this week of a variety of different types of music. We've had everything from punk and hard rock to alternative, and now hip-hop. So I think I've covered the gambit this week, with the exception of pop. I haven't covered pop this week. But either way, I've covered the gambit. So, let's just get right to it. She's got a new single out called RichRich. And you know what? She's pretty fucking badass. If nothing else, just for her purple fucking hair. So, let's just get right to it, because I am so ready to talk to Miss Roxanne Luciano. What is up, my dear? How are you?
What's going on, handsome? I'm good.
I am so glad to hear that you're good. Because
I'm so glad to see that this facial hair that's going on. It is amazing.
It flows, doesn't it?
It's so lovely.
I don't think I've trimmed my beard. I mean, I've cut off split ends, but actually trimmed it in over a year. Yeah, I have no aspirations of trimming it anytime soon. No. Oh, hell no.
Keep going.
The only thing that I have regretted in the last year as far as my haircut goes, I'm growing out my hair, my actual hair. And I started first doing it, when the pandemic started, because I got my last haircut. I usually got my haircut every 6 weeks. So I got it done at the end of January, and then by one time I went to go do it again, it was March 15th, March 16th, and everything had shut down. So I'm just going to grow my hair out. And then April, May, I was like, oh, fuck, it's getting too long. It's starting to tickle my ears. I can't do this. And I shaved my fucking head, and I was stupid. So now it's 8 months later, and I'm growing it out again. I'm like, I could have a man bun right now and look extra
Yes, you could. A whole man bun right now.
I would be totally looking like a hipster douchebag, and I'm like, that is the goal in life. Especially now that I'm almost 40, I might as well just embrace my douchiness and be like,
you know what? You have that mustache like it could go into a handlebar.
I usually put it up in a handlebar.
I love that.
Oh yeah, I mean it's handlebar. I've done it I used to do it all the time. I just haven't done it. I haven't done it in a while because I don't work a full-time job. I mean, this is my life. So it's like, do I really want to do a handlebar just to come on the air for an hour and a half every day? Maybe I should. I don't know. Maybe I should go back to doing it. I don't know. because that would bring out the extra hipster douchebag in me.
Yes.
Absolutely. I mean, that would be like the epitome of hipster douchebag.
The ultimate.
It would, yeah. As long as I have, because all I would need is like an IPA in my hand, and I have IPAs in my fridge. I should grab one. So anyway, so how's everything for you? I mean, this year's been weird, especially for musicians. And, the same things I've talked to other musicians about, we're going to talk about tonight, because I like to get different perspectives. But it's really, really weird. I mean, but at the same time, it's never been a better time to be an indie artist. Because when you release a single on a Thursday, or you drop an album on a Friday, guess who you're not competing with? The big, massive artists who aren't dropping albums and singles right now because they can't tour. So we're not going to give you a new album right now. So, but the indie guys and girls, exactly, you guys have leveled the playing field. And now next year, when they finally drop an album again, finally go on tour, they're going to be like, okay, but I've been listening to Roxanne, or I've been listening to, all the other bands that I've talked to over the last month and a half. Where were you at when I needed you the most? They were there. You haven't. So, I mean, was that your logic in behind doing what you're doing now?
Honestly, my logic behind doing what I'm doing now, it's so crazy that you pointed that out, because I didn't think about that first. When I first thought about it, I'm like, this is the time where women are winning in music. Like, women in music are at it. They are fucking going. So I'm like, this is the moment.
150,000,000% agree with you. And it's not just in the hip hop and R&B world. No, like, I'm the rock guy. I'm the metal rock guy. And the rock and metal genre has seen this surgence of badass, strong women that I have just gotten such a freaking, mental, hard on for. I mean, I just don't know the way to say it. I'm not, it's not a sexual thing. It's just that my brain is so addicted to it. Anytime these ladies do anything, it's like, what are they doing next? What are they doing next? Because it's just so good.
For some reason, it's just like, right now is the perfect time. It's perfect. It's the perfect time.
Yeah.
And then, like what you said, that even, it makes it even, it connects it all even more. As indie artists, we're swooping in, like we're going in. And the ladies, we're doing this in all genres, like we're doing it everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, as a rock guy, I don't remember a time since the 80s, and I was a young kid then, since the 80s that women have had such an impact in rock, let alone all genres. I mean, when rap first came out, yes, we had our Missy Elliott's and we had our Mary J. Blige's and, stuff like that, but it wasn't as... But looking back on it now, I was like, was that it? I mean, obviously Queen Latifah.
No, yeah, that is right, because it was just like it was almost as if it was just in that, genre, and it wasn't.
Yeah,
it wasn't, and it's not now.
No, yeah, but like thinking back about it, I was like, I can right now I can name just off the top of my head without thinking about it 5 women front woman bands. But then looking back on it now, and that's just in the rock genre. But like, if I really went off about all genres, I'd be talking for hours. But like going back to the '90s and even the early 2000s, it's like I'm hard pressed to remember, 5 or 6, powerful. I mean, like I said, Queen Latifah, Mary J. Blige, and those women. But other than that, I mean, I don't. Like I said, I have to go back to the 80s where you had your Joan Jett and your all them, but it's like, but there was a gap. But now it's like women are like, you know what? We're fucking here.
We're here,
Pay
and
attention
we're not
to
fucking
us.
going anywhere. And I love it. I love it. I love it so much.
So do I. One of my favorite metal bands is frontwoman by a woman, and they just released a live album that they recorded last year in Melbourne, Australia today. And I've been listening to that thing all fucking day. It's just like it's oh my god, I've listened to it straight through twice today because it's just so good. And it's the same songs that I've been listening to all year because it's nothing new. It's just a live album, but it's like it adds a certain dynamic to it. Yeah, and then because you can almost close your eyes and picture yourself there with a live album.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing compares to being at a concert. Nothing at all. But a live album kind of brings you there. Now,
Yeah.
but the thing about it is you can watch that live DVD and not get that same feeling because you know
You're
you're
gonna get that
watching it on
same-
TV.
Exactly. But you're still not going to get that. It's the feel. You're
Yeah.
not going to get that same feel
Exactly.
as being right there.
So, what is it like, being a new woman on the scene? Joining, the ranks of some of these women that have been out there for a few years, really kind of carving a path for people like you.
Yes.
What does that feel like for someone like you?
It feels challenging, as it should, and it feels interesting. I'm interested. I want to learn everything that I can. I have these three things: raw, rich, rebellious, and that's what I stand by, and that's what I'm going for. And it's so many people, even out currently, that I can learn from, and it's just it's more of a positive. It's a positive. It's awesome. And Missy's coming back, so it's like that shit is fucking amazing. That is amazing to me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't think she ever really went away, but she's coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She went away, but she's moving up on in. She's
Exactly.
swooping on in at the perfect time.
Yep. So, who are some of the women, not necessarily that are your influences. We're influenced by everybody in everyday lives. I hate that question. Who are your biggest influences? I don't like that question. But who are some of the women that you want to learn from and and not exactly, model your career after, because you got to model your career after yourself. But who are some of those women that are just like, that you have your eye on, like, okay, I'm going to take a piece from her. I'm going to take a piece from her. Who are those women?
Well, absolutely. Missy, of course, because she's just amazing. And I grew up listening to her, but right now, in the music world, I like Nicki, and I'll say this for a reason. I like how Nicki has grown. She has grown so much from just being regular, here's my mixtape Nicki, to here I am now, the queen of all of this, the barbs and all of this. It's like she grew unproblematic to me. So that is cool. I like seeing women grow being unproblematic. It's so many problematic artists now. I like to see people blossom. Beyonce blossoms, like that's just a whole blossom in itself. That's a whole gold mine in itself. Like it's people like that. People like that. Uh-oh, I can't hear you.
That was me. My bad. I muted myself. You say that Nicki Minaj is unproblematic. What do you mean by problematic artists?
It's a lot of artists. It's just a lot of problematic people, period, in this world. It's a lot of people that feed off problems. They feed off, drama or things like that. It's nobody specific, but it's just, I feel like a lot of people nowadays, they love drama. They don't like to see, it's like they want to nitpick and pick at things without just letting things be like, hey, this is the way it fucking is. Let this shit go the way it's supposed to flow. And this is me and I'm going in and that's just what it is. But it's, you know, you just have people in the background and they like to nitpick at every little thing. Drama is it's a big thing here. Like people, they love drama.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be the person, I don't want to be like that. Like I don't want to have my name out there because I'm in drama or because I'm problematic or because I like to, you know, I like to argue or fight with people or anything like that. Like I want to swoop in real smooth and do what I gotta do.
I see what you're saying. So okay, I got what you're saying. So now, don't you think some of that problematic bullshit, you know, dramatic bullshit, is all PR stage just as a way to get your name out there, though? In some cases,
Absolutely. I used to think that all publicity is good publicity, but I don't think like that anymore. I mean, publicity is publicity itself. People are going to react. The people are going to react one way or another. But it's like, do you want to go that route? Do you want to get yourself out there because you are a problem starter? Or do you want to just genuinely get yourself out there because you're dope?
Yeah. See, the reason why I asked that is because the first thing that kind of came to mind when you were saying that was what's now been, you know, completely squashed or I don't want to say squashed, but it's no more, was the Machine Gun Kelly Eminem drama. I think MGK.
Tell me what you think.
I think he orchestrated all that shit on purpose.
Absolutely,
because he didn't want to be in the rap game anymore.
Do you see what happened as soon as that shit? He is no longer in the rap game. He is. I literally just seen a video of him and I didn't even realize it was him because it's like he just totally switched. And I think you're right. But I think he didn't want to be in. I don't think he wanted to be in the rap game.
Yeah, and I think he just picked a fight with the biggest guy in the you know the room, and then got his name out there, and then he dropped this pop punk album, and now the rock community is circling him. Everyone I've talked to about MGK, it's like, man, I love that new album by him. It's fucking dope. And I'm like, he fucking did it on purpose. There's no way.
There is absolutely no way. There's absolutely no way.
Because it worked out so perfectly.
It worked out perfectly for him. They did it the exact. It was perfect. It was perfect.
Yeah. Because he was always a rock guy and a metal guy behind the scenes. But he was in the rap game because, and I think I even heard him say this or in an interview.
What's crazy, he was still so cold in the rap game though. Like MGK was nice. He was nice.
Yeah, but I think he admitted it at one point that he was only in the rap game because the money was there. But then he was like, you know what? I'm giving this. I want to go back to my roots, and he put out this album and. Rock guys are clinging.
He could have just easily been who he could have easily came out and just went into the rock or the metal or alternative or anything. He didn't have to go that route. So it's like it makes me now wonder, like, did somebody just look at him and say, hey, you look like you could fit the par to be with, you know, black people, or did he really like listen to? It's a lot of questions. It's a lot of questions around that. But hey,
yeah. But it brings up the point of what you're talking about as far as problematic people, because whether it was, you know, orchestrated like that or not, you know, it still happened, and it still, you know, put a bad taste in some people's mouths. You know, granted, you know, he flipped the script and went, you know, a completely different route, which I admire him for. You know, I love it when people cross genres. You know, like what what Miley Cyrus is doing right now. Oh my God, Miley Cyrus is jumping, you know, going back and forth.
I want to hit every genre. Like, I want to hit every avenue. I love rock. I love Led Zeppelin. I love the Beatles. I love Black Sabbath. I love rock music. I want to be able to. It's like you don't want to be put in a category unless that's the category that you
choose.
that you are seriously made for, and that's perfect.
Yeah.
Because there are amazing rappers, like lyricists, like rappers who are real rappers, and that's who they are. They don't want to switch, but
Absolutely.
you have people who are versatile, like they want to hit every avenue they can.
Yeah, and that's where, I like to, talk to people about, the differences between, an artist, an entertainer, a songwriter, a musician, and all these different things that you could be classified as. I think, and I love starting controversy. I'm a problematic person. I think the rappers that don't diversify themselves, you know what I'm saying, to just stay in one lane their entire career are just lyricists. You know what I'm saying? They're not anything beyond that.
They're lyricists. Yeah, they're lyricists, but it's
I wouldn't consider them entertainers. I would just consider them good lyricists.
There's a solid, you're right. There's a solid difference. Who is a lyricist, like you have the lyrics, like you have that mindset. See what I think was crazy about with Eminem, and I love Eminem, but of course he's white, so it's a kind of little difference. But I love the fact that it's like with Eminem, it was a lyricist type of thing because he was fucking nuts, but he was also an entertainer.
Yes.
He entertained. So it's like I want to see everybody be able to do that. Like everybody be able to do it. But you're right. There are people who are just stuck in their genre, and I think that's what everybody. I think that's
absolutely.
You have you got a lot of rock artists and alternative artists that it's like they want to stick to that. They don't want to do anything.
But it's aside from sticking to the same genre, there's a difference between going up on stage and just performing a song and then performing a song.
But you know what? It's a difference between performing a song and actually feeling the song that you're performing.
Exactly. I've been to concerts before, by some of my favorite rock bands and just been bored fucking out of my fucking mind because they're just up there going through the motions. They're not feeling it. They're right now at that point in time, they're just an artist. They know how to play guitar. They know how to sing. They know how to play the drums. They're just artists. They're not entertainers.
They don't know how to entertain.
Exactly. At that point in time, they're not even musicians.
That.
Yeah.
It's so many people. If you look on YouTube, like it's so many people who are legit, like lyricists. Like they can play. They're instrumental. They can do anything, but it's like the energy is not there.
Exactly.
The feel is not there, and once that's not there, everything else crumbles, kind of.
Yeah. I love the people. This year, because of the pandemic and because I've, taken my show in a completely different direction, I've opened my eyes and ears to a lot of different genres this year. Because before I was, I like to say I was musically racist. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't rock, or metal or hard rock or, anything like that, I didn't listen to it. I always scoffed at it. Now, when I say racist, I don't mean racist because, there's lots of black guys and metal, Spanish guys and everything else like that in the rock scene. But I was just, there we go. I was a musical bigot.
It's a genre racism.
Genre racist. There we go. Or musically bigoted, whatever you want to say. But either way, but this year I've talked to so many rappers and hip hop artists and pop singers and country singers. And it's like, okay, Derek, get out of your head. There's more to good music than just metal and rock. And, I've really experienced a lot of good stuff. And, I really dug your song, Rich Rich. It was really, really cool. Not what I expected from you at all, which I like that. If I can look at a person and be like, when you look at somebody, you always get like a certain idea of what you're going to listen to. And the same thing happened to me yesterday with another band I talked to. I looked at them like, okay, I think I'm going to get this out of this song. And then I turned on YouTube. I was like, oh, nope, I got completely different. And the same thing happened with you. But I like that. I like being surprised, and I like being genuinely curious about, the idea behind it and, where it kind of comes from. And, because, everyone has something that makes them tick. And everyone has that idea of, this is why I do what I do. And when you are open-minded, you can make some of the best stuff in the world. If you are taking your influences from everybody from Zeppelin to Mary J. Blige, and Missy Elliott, then you're going to be able to put out some great fucking music. And you're not going to be able to put out some great hip hop. No, you're going to put out some great music. And that's where I like to, but someone who comes on here and just, is like, I do hip hop. Okay, well, that's fantastic because you chose that. But if you're about making music, love music. And that's what I just based off the, 15, 20, however long we've been talking now. I've oh my God, it's been a half an hour already.
Wow, look at us.
I know, I love it. I was thinking it's 15 minutes and it's already been a half an hour. It's twice as long.
I was like, Tim is. Okay.
But it's like, I get that feeling from you, and I absolutely love that. But now that I know we're at the half hour mark, I got to pay some bills. So we're going to talk more about that and more about you when we come back. So if you just mute your mic for me, that'd be great.
Gotcha.
And we will be right back. Tonight's episode is brought to you by Betterhelp. Betterhelp is an app that allows you to 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, connect with your therapist to make sure that you're getting the best help possible. BetterHelp is different in the fact that you don't have to go to your Cigna or Blue Cross Blue Shield website, look through thousands and thousands of therapists in your area that may or may not be accepting new patients, and then have to wait weeks upon weeks to get into that waiting room, and then wait an hour or two to get to see that person in that waiting room, only to find out that you don't connect on that personal level and they're not what you need. BetterHelp avoids all that. They connect you with a therapist, and then you can choose right away whether or not you like them and decide whether or not you want to get a different one. BetterHelp is different because of that. And when you go to betterhelp.com/SIPod, you get 10% off your first month. BetterHelp is the best therapy app out there today. There's nothing better. And I'm so grateful to have connected with them because I use them. And as someone who speaks from a mental health perspective who has bipolar, it helps me every day. And I hope that they can help you as well. As a matter of fact, I know they can. So again, do yourself a favor, go to betterhelp.com/SIPod for 10% off your first month. BetterHelp. You can't go wrong. Hey guys, have you ever wondered how you can help support the channel and look cool at the same time? Do yourself a favor, go to dckproductions.com/shop and get yourself some of the coolest apparel out there. Whether you just want one of our basic logos in a t-shirt or hoodie form, or whether or not you want to get one of our great graphic tees that are just funny as hell. And also, just released is our brand new line of mental health shirts, which help raise awareness, and 25% also go to charity. So please do yourself a favor. Again, go to dckproductions.com/shop for the best apparel out there. Thank you very, very much. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's episode is also brought to you by Manscaped.com, where right now you guys can go to that website and get some of the best manscaping products on the market today, including this right here, the Lawnmower 3.0. What's this, you ask? Not only is it the best manscaping device for your chest, your balls, your shaft, everything, your taint, but it's also completely waterproof, and with skin-safe technology, it prevents nicks, cuts, and all the other stuff in between. And when you go to manscaped.com right now, you can get this awesome product inside the Perfect Package 3.0, which includes these lovely little cleanup pads which you can stand on in the bathroom and not have to worry about getting your pubes everywhere. It also includes ball toner, which they call a crop reviver, which helps prevent chafing and ingrown hairs, but then also a ball deodorant. That's right, ball deodorant. Help keep those man bits fucking smelling fresh all day long. And also, not pictured here, because I'm fucking wearing them, is a nice nylon breathable pair of boxers that are so freaking comfortable. That entire package, again, which includes the Lawnmower 3.0, is only $99.99. And when you use promo code SuckItPodcast at checkout, you get 20% off and free shipping. But then that's not only it. They also have another package called the Performance Package, which includes the Weed Whacker, which is a freaking nose and ear hair trimmer. And that's $119.99. Again, 20% off of that. That's a great deal. Perfect for the holidays. Christmas is right around the corner. Get yourself this amazing package to keep your package looking fantastic. Again, that's manscaped.com, promo code SuckItPodcast for 20% off your entire order plus free shipping. Trust me when I say your balls will thank you. All right, we are back. You can go ahead and unmute yourself. Oh, you're good now. Okay. Yeah, we're back. That's the great thing about pre-recorded, commercials. I can just hit buttons on my phone and it just plays on my computer.
That's amazing. And I don't have to sit here and listen to all the commercials and stuff.
Yeah, just me sit there talking about, ball deodorant from Manscaped or, I'm serious. That's one of my sponsors. I mean, you can see it right here. Manscaped, but then at the same time, also, my show helps with your mind and your body because I got Betterhelp as a sponsor. And then I also got Manscaped. So you get to take care of your junk and your brain at the same time. It's fantastic.
Love that. That is fantastic.
I got to pay the bills somehow.
Hey, I see. Helping the mind and the brain and the balls.
Exactly. Especially, that man stink. Got to get rid of that man stink.
You got to get rid of that.
Exactly.
All right.
A while, like not even that long ago, like a little bit ago, I used to use a different program, and the program actually you could hear the ads. And when I would do the Manscaped ad, people would just laugh and laugh and laugh because the things I would say. Because the thing about it is with Manscaped is they're a very, very non-traditional, very liberal company. So they tell me in the welcome email, hey, say whatever the hell you want and have fun with it. So I literally do, and people would just laugh and laugh because I would have to go from being strict and very professional with the BetterHelp ad to doing the Manscaped ad. It's just hilarious.
I love that transition. All right.
But in regards to like we were talking about before, who you are as a person and stuff like that. We talked about your love of music, and that is very, very important. Especially with what you're trying to accomplish. But one of the underlying themes of my show, with BetterHelp being a sponsor, and there's a reason for that, is I suffer from bipolar disorder and extreme anxiety and PTSD, and I've had a couple suicide attempts. So one of the themes of my show, it's actually an underlying theme of every show I do, is mental health and the whole idea of getting yourself right. And the whole reason why the name of the show is called Suck It is because, as somebody who was depressed, growing up in the 90s and even the early 2000s, there was a stigma about a man being depressed. And we were always told, at least I was, to suck it up all the time. Well, my response to them was suck it. Don't tell me to suck it up. This is my life. I will handle it how I need to handle it. You don't know what I'm going through. So, that's where the name of the show comes from. Most people think it's a sexual entendre. Nope, it's actually mental health related.
It's amazing.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I never grow tired of telling that story. I tell that story pretty much every time I have a new guest on. I'm sure my listeners at home are, getting sick of it, but it's important to remind them of that too, because, I want people, like I was telling you before, I don't do pre-interviews. I don't do much research about a guest that I've never heard of before, because, the whole idea behind my show is you're going to do other, you just did a Hype Magazine interview where you're going to, you answered all those questions. So if they want to know those questions, they can go seek that interview out. We're not going to do that here, because I want to get to know the real, Roxanne, who is hiding underneath that purple hair, who is hiding behind that beautiful face and smile of yours, because there's more to you than your love of Missy Elliott and the Beatles. As someone who like I said, struggles every day, I like to give a place for somebody who struggles as well, a place to come and listen to a show, to know that the person that they're listening to deals with the same shit that they're dealing with, but is showing how to handle it on a day-to-day basis and is willing to talk about it with anyone and everyone. I sit here every day in front of 45,000 freaking people that download this damn show every day and tell them that I almost committed suicide twice. I don't care. Whatever. It happens. But I didn't do it, and that's why I'm here. Because I feel I have a bigger purpose, and I'm going to spread awareness as much as I can.
Absolutely.
So, looking back at your life, what brought you to this point? I mean, did you struggle as a kid? Did you, were you raised in a good house, a bad house? Or were you in foster care? I mean, what brought you to where you are today?
I definitely struggled. Definitely struggled as a child. It's a lot of weird people in the world. Let's just put it, it's a lot of weird people. So I definitely struggled as a child. It's so crazy because I've been waiting for a platform to just be like, hey, this is what it is. Like, this is who I am. And it's okay if you're like this. It's okay. So yes, I have struggled with depression. I've struggled with anxiety, like firsthand, extreme manic depression and anxiety. So I am firsthand, full on. I know all about it. I've been through it, and just like you, I'm here, and I want to be able, and that's I think what led me to be able to be like, fucking Jasmine or Roxanne, it's okay. You can open up and you can do music because that's who you are. You are able to express yourself that way. And I've gone from writing poems and doing stuff like that. Like, I used to write a lot of poetry, but it wasn't an outlet for me. It was an outlet for me, but it wasn't an outlet for everybody else who I knew that was going through the same thing. So the opportunity came across to do music. And I'm like, absolutely, this is what I want to do. This is what I've been writing and hoping for so long. And now that I have the platform to do it, and in this generation, it's like, we're all suffering from something. We are, especially with my younger generation. Like, we are all suffering. So it's like, I want to be the person that's raw and be that person, that voice, kind of, if it makes sense, like that voice that people are like, hey, she's dope as fuck, her music is dope as fuck, and she's real as fuck. She's not hiding anything behind a curtain. She's not sugarcoating anything. Of course, there's some parts of your life you got to keep private, but when you're going through shit that half the world is going through, you want to be that person that's like, hey, it's okay.
Yeah. And that's how I feel about it too. I mean, I open up on this show and I say a lot of things that I probably shouldn't. Currently I'm going through a divorce, and within like last 2-3 weeks. We just separated, and I didn't tell my parents, and they found out because of the show. My mom called me. She goes, "When the fuck were you gonna tell me?" I did.
Now, is that because is it because that you can open up more on your show than you can with family?
So, yes and no. So you kind of hit on something that I was going to kind of touch on, and I'm glad you asked that question because now I kind of have a segue. You said, you were a poet and you were writing a bunch of poetry and stuff like that, but that wasn't, you said it, not me, Jasmine or Roxanne's, outlet. But here's the thing. So the way I look at it was this, so poetry might be Jasmine's outlet, but the musical outlet, which is the true you, is the Roxanne that sits in front of me before me. And that's how I feel as well. So back in the day, I used to be, I still am a musician, but I was a touring guitarist, and I used to do backup vocals and a bunch of different stuff like that. And that wasn't, an outlet for me, but I always had a stage name as well. Because other than Eric Clapton, nobody can pull off the name Derek. But so I always had a stage name because I was, whether I was in music.
So many Jasmines in this world.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
It doesn't. But I was also a professional wrestler for 12 years, and I had a stage name there, obviously. And now I'm a stand-up comic, and I don't go by a stage name, but I still have in my back of my head those two other stage names that I went under before, and I kind of go under that persona the moment I step onto stage or the moment I hit that record button on my computer and I start this show. Because granted, I go by my real name here, but I'm still living out a still have a rose-colored glasses on from the character that I portray on this show and on stage. So while even though I'm not going through speaking as a character anymore, I've kind of joined them in my head, but without that outlet for my second personality, even though I'm not schizophrenic or anything like that, but that second personality that needs an outlet, that's what
that alter ego.
We do. But some alter egos are hidden away for a long time, or they're just something silly like I'm a professional businessman who loves doing this and this and this, and I'm a family guy, but on the weekends my wife lets me go to a BDSM club and get spanked. You know what I'm saying? We all have that. We all have that BDSM guy behind the scenes. Yeah. It might not be that kink, but you know what I mean. That's just my.
What it reminds me of when I think about the whole persona thing, it's the movie Big Daddy with Adam Sandler, and when the little boy put the shades on, now he's invisible, or
yes,
it's kind of like
yes,
yep, it's kind of like Jasmine is who Jasmine is. Jasmine is Jasmine, and when Jasmine gets into this light, this atmosphere, Jasmine is Roxanne.
Yeah.
And they're the same people, but one's not afraid.
Exactly. And that's kind of why I came up with stage names. I mean, obviously in wrestling I had to, but because it was almost like I was living an out-of-body experience, yep, doing those things. Now I have more control over it. But before, whenever I was up on stage or inside of a wrestling ring, or even now as a comedian standing up on stage, I don't remember, holding that microphone or beating somebody up or, playing guitar. I don't remember doing that and looking out at a crowd. What I remember is sitting in that crowd and looking at myself do this, wondering how the hell I'm doing. Who the hell is that? And why is he wearing my face?
Yes.
Because Derek, the guy you see in front of you, could never have done those things. However, in order to escape the depression and escape the realities of everyday life. You know, I was in an abusive marriage, for 4 years while I was a professional wrestler, and that was a huge escape for me. But the moment I left that ring and I wiped off all my makeup and I put on my street clothes, I had to go back to being Derek, and that was depressing. And it was a whole other side of me that I couldn't express on a daily basis. However, now that I get to do this, and I'm finding a good balance, because I know every day at 8 o'clock from Monday through Friday, I get to come on here, I get to shoot the shit with somebody who's going to be awesome. And, whether it be talking music or talking entertainment, or, talking to a entrepreneur who's doing something different, which I don't do very often, but I do talk to entrepreneurs every once in a while. But either way, when I do that, I get to live my life the way I see it, because this is my show. My soon-to-be ex-wife can't control what I do on this show. My kids can't control what I do on this show. My PR people will never control what I do on this show. I love you, Holly. But that's who I am. But this is me in the rawest form, like you said before. And I will never, ever, ever let anyone change that, because now I get to be the truest form of myself.
That's one of those. It is genuinely it's an escape. Like you can be you at your rawest form, and it doesn't matter what anybody thinks. It doesn't matter what anybody says. You are you, and it's an outlet. That's something that's necessary. Like, we need that outlet.
Yeah.
We need to be who we are.
Exactly.
And if we don't need to have any control over that, we need to be who we are, because that's what makes us who we are. That's what makes us us. That's what makes us great. Stop trying to sugarcoat things or be what society or the media wants you to be. Just be you. Be raw. And that's what we are missing right now. So I want to bring that back.
Oh, yeah. And another thing, as far as like me goes, being a stand-up comedian, I love coming on this show and just improvising with people and just messing around and then stumble onto something really, really fucking funny. Like the other day, I almost pissed myself from how funny this was. Now, I found it funny. I think the person on the other end of the other end of the Zoom did not find it as funny as I did, but I thought it was hilarious.
You have a dark humor. I know you do.
I do. So here was the joke that I came up with, and I'm gonna see what you say. So I haven't perfected the joke, but I'm just gonna kind of give you the synopsis of what was said. So we were talking about how music doesn't really know cultural divide. With the exception of a few different genres of music, there's no real cultural divide in music. And we were talking about how, more than ever, as far as women goes, as far as, black and white, jumping back and forth between genres and stuff like that, we were kind of talking about that, right? And the band that I was talking to said something to the effect of, I think, us as a community scared away the black community in the 80s because...
I missed that whole thing.
Did you really?
Yes.
Okay, let me start over.
Yes, please.
So the other day, I was talking to this band, and we were talking about cultural divide of music, about how music doesn't have a cultural divide, and how, we're seeing nowadays, more black people and Puerto Ricans and Mexicans and everything like that doing metal. And we're seeing more whites and everything else like that doing rap and hip hop and stuff like that. And they said something to the effect of, well, I think, for a while there, us as a community, especially like the LA Strip in the 80s, scared away a lot of other cultures from the metal scene and rock scene just because of, it was misogynistic and it was just bad. And I said, actually, I think it's deeper than that. I think the black community saw, Eddie Murphy raw and watched him in leather pants. And I think that scared them away from it because they knew they couldn't do metal music without wearing leather pants. And that was something, whatever, I can't remember exactly how I said it, but it was something to that effect. And I thought it was hilarious as hell. Like, yeah, like I said, it's fun. I thought it was hilarious.
I'm still trying to figure out what. Okay.
Eddie Murphy wore that fucking leather ass suit in Raw in the 80s.
I don't even know what that is.
So you got to Google it. It's a horrible.
Now I'm gonna have to look, and now I'm gonna have to figure out what you're talking about.
Oh, hold on. I will pull it up right now. Hold on, I'll show it to you.
Okay.
Hold on, you got to see this. Because now you got to get the joke. Eddie
And that's
Murphy.
one thing I hate about telling jokes, because sometimes you tell jokes and no one, like, somebody won't even know what you're talking about, and like the whole joke is fucking ruined.
So Eddie Murphy, hold on, come on, damn it. Hold on.
I'm gonna look it up myself because I don't know what.
See this leather outfit that he's wearing?
It's kind of.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of hard to see, but he was wearing leather pants. Oh, now my damn it, camera's fuzzy. Anyway, so he was wearing a leather pants and it was a leather jumpsuit. Just a purple leather jumpsuit. It was bad. So my whole joke was, after seeing that, the black community wanted nothing to do with metal because they saw that, all the white guys were wearing was leather pants. So that was the joke. And I think
so now
I think it was lost on them. Yeah, see? That's it. Look at that. So I think it was that whole age difference, because I think they didn't get it either.
Listen, as being half of the black community, because I am multiracial, being half of the black community, I can say that we definitely get hot in their fucking outfit. So I just know he was very, very hot, that outfit.
He was sweating.
We have to
bad.
stay away from leather, but we got that rock shit. We got rock. We just have the outfits. We can't. It's just too sticky, man. It's too sticky.
I was specifically talking about 80s hair metal, because that's all they wore was, those leather ass pants, and I don't even know how the hell they pulled them off. Those things are sticky.
I don't know how they pull it off now.
Not even I can wear it. I'm 1/4 Syrian. I got some Middle Eastern blood in my body, and I still can't even. I get hot real easily. I couldn't pull off those damn things.
No.
I don't know how anybody wears them, let alone white, black.
That's because Eddie Murphy is the
Asian?
truth. I don't know. Eddie Murphy he's raw. Okay.
And that was the name of the damn thing too. I bet you his ass and fucking nuts were raw. He should have been using some ball deodorant.
Oh, you know what? We are not.
I need to write that down too. See, I come up with great jokes.
Gosh, just wipe it all down. Wipe it off.
See, we were just talking about mental health and depression. Now we're talking about Eddie Murphy's nuts. I mean, see what I do on the show?
You're a bad influence.
I am a bad influence.
You're fucked up influence.
I told you, I am problematic people.
Love it. But you know what? But you're problematic.
And I
like,
make fun
that?
of it. Oh, I dive into it because it's funny.
I love it. You know why I love it? Because it's just real. It's something that it's like before I was on this interview, I was so nervous and I'm like, what is he gonna ask me? Like blah blah blah. But when you get into it, somebody that's just genuinely having a fucking conversation with you, it just goes so smoothly.
Yeah, I don't like to call myself an interviewer because I'm not. I've never been an interviewer because I was never trained that way, and I was just kind of thrown into, this PR person emailing them one day, hey, do you want to talk to this person? Sure, I have no idea how to talk to him, but I'm going to talk to him. And from there, I was just
you can talk. You're a very good
it's
speaker.
Conversational. Because I can't do the interview thing.
A lot of people don't have that, though. A lot of people don't have the conversation thing. They can't hold a conversation.
Correct. Because what I do requires a lot of active listening. because I have to listen to what you're saying in your comment in order to find my next question. Otherwise, it'll be like,
Where were we? Where did we leave off?
Yeah. Or, that person that just, reads off a piece of paper and then is waiting for them to finish talking so they can ask the next question. No. That's not me and will never, ever be me. I don't care how much money, anyone offers me. I'm not going to do that. You can offer me half and let me have my way. Take off a zero and then let me do my own thing. Exactly. Just let me have fun and because this is where the best stuff happens. Because again, it lets people know that, because people are going to, read that Hype magazine interview and see that, or all the other interviews that you've done and be like, oh, let me go listen to this girl's, single. But then, after they listen to the single, what's left? The standard questions that they just read. But when they come here, they get to find out the real you and then become a fan of you as a person. And that's what really kind of makes people tick.
That's what we need.
Exactly.
That is exactly what we need.
Yep. Because, it's because we're all people first. And I will never, ever, ever take that for granted. Absolutely not. It's too important. Especially for, again, the theme and, as far as mental health goes, if I ever, stop doing this, I would go crazy myself. Because I couldn't do it myself. Again, that would probably be like Derek reading an interview question and be like, so let me ask you this. And this is not who I am.
Me just going back and writing poems and just hiding it and sheltering it to just no one but myself.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want to do that. I am here and I'm so blessed. I'm so appreciative of that. And I'm ready for shit to just keep rolling.
Yeah.
And there's no going back. It's like, once you're in it, you're in it. There's no going back.
So let's go back to the music for a second here, and we'll kind of go from there. So being a new artist, and you just released this song, and I'm sure an EP or an LP is going to follow soon, right? But you're a new artist, and yes, we've leveled the playing field as far as releasing music goes with the big acts. But now you can't go to the club or go, tour or do any of that stuff and really start to intermingle with your fans, or build a fan base outside of your hometown. So what are you doing right now, besides obviously talking to me, to let people know that you're here and that they should pay attention to you?
I am, that's so fucked up that we can't do any of that right now. So the great thing about right now, it's technology. Everything is technology. So it's like, I have a marketing team, like I have a promo team, I have things like that who are able to help me with getting myself out there. Because at this point, it's like, not being able to move around, you got yourself and you got, the people who are close to you.
Yeah.
It's like, we can't afford to be out trying to promote myself in so many other ways or with other people, because shit is bad right now.
Unfortunately.
So it's like, you got to use what you got to get what you want. So I'm using what I have, and not using what I have, but this is what I have that's going on right now. And they're making whatever magic they're doing to get me out there.
They got you here.
Because it's hard. It's like, you can't really go outside. You can't really travel too much to to promote yourself. So now you have to literally rely on technology.
Yeah, and that's the hardest part for some people, because for a long time, it was, yeah, I mean, granted, we've always relied on technology, at least in my generation, as far as watching computers evolve and stuff like that. But it was always, be careful with what you read on the internet, be careful what you pay attention to on the internet, because you never know what's real and what's fake. And now, with all these artists, and when I say artists, I don't mean just musicians. I mean comedians, actors, everything. If they create, they're artists. Putting stuff out, you don't know what really to trust and what really to hold on to anymore, because in our brain, and thanks to things like that new Netflix special, The Social Network, or The Social Dilemma, whatever it was called, telling us, that we spend too much time on our screens and we're not interacting much, but we can't interact, and all we can do is talk to people on our screens, and we're getting so much conflicting information, we just don't know our ass from a hole in the ground, and it's scary.
It's very scary. But I think, like you said, we've always relied on the internet. It's always kind of been that way. It's always kind of been scary, but now it's kind of like in the sense of people don't read or research things much anymore, so everybody's relying on the internet to give them all of their answers.
Yeah.
And that's what's so scary. I actually did a research paper a couple of weeks ago, and it was about, is the internet making us stupid? And it was just it was about like the fact that it's not, the fact that it's so much available to us, we're not taking the time to read or research or like go through data that would be in a library or shit like that. Like, people aren't looking at anything like that anymore. We, in our minds, we're flipping through. We're just like you said with my with when you heard about me, you didn't really read much. You just kind of grazed through it, and that's, I feel like.
But I knew that I was going to talk to you, and that was.
But I think that's what a lot of things that are going on right now.
Correct. Yeah.
Grazing through things, and it's no one's really taking the time to learn about something or get to know about something. They're just going off what media, technology, what.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and even though I just brought it up, it's like, you're right, because people just skim through something and just kind of blow it off, and don't take the time to talk to other people about it. My logic behind skimming through something is because I want to hear it from your mouth. I don't want to read it on paper. But some people just say, well, oh, this is, it's too long. I don't feel like reading all this. Or they'll go onto YouTube, and if it's anything longer than 4 or 5 minute video, they'll be like, I'm bored, I'm skipping through it, I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's like, and that kind of stuff bothers me as well. Because, like I was saying before, as far as like the show goes, whenever I give anyone my stats, I always say I have this many downloads, because my show is listened to podcast primarily, Spotify, Amazon, yada, yada, yada. Because if you go to YouTube, my view count is shit because my shows go an hour. We're an hour and 10 minutes in right now. Nobody's going to sit down and watch this for an hour and 10 minutes. If you, like, say for instance, you went onto another podcaster page that had 10,000 views on one video, I really want to know what the actual retention rate is on that. How long did they actually watch that? Regardless of whether, and then what their actual download is over there, because are they just buying those views or what? We don't know.
You never know.
Exactly.
And that's another thing. You never know. People are buying and buying and buying.
Yep.
So much to get attention, to get noticed, and it's kind of hard to know who's actually tuning in or who's actually watching this, who actually likes this.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's why, it's bothersome, because, I put a lot of effort into, you know, building up my OBS stream to where I have, you know, 2 different camera setups, and I have overlays, and I have, you know, transitions, and I have my, you know, my recorded commercials and stuff like that with, you know, graphics and all this other stuff, and I get 150 views. But you know, I'll check the podcast for this episode in a week and a half, and I got 45,000 downloads. Okay, great. But did I put all that effort into the video for nothing, or is it eventually going to grow, or people are just going to eventually find it racks my brain, and I can't even, I don't even want to think about it anymore. It's like I'm just going to do it for me because I enjoy doing it. I just don't care about the views. So if you're watching this on YouTube right now, a week from now, a year from now, from November 20th, 2020, and I say I don't care about views, I still won't care about views on the YouTube, because I love my downloads, and I love my people that listen to me in the car on the way home and from work. But because it's just
You're
one of those
reaching
things.
out to people. It's like, and that's one of those things. It's like I want to reach out to people. I want people to actually feel me, not like just listen to me in the car and say, "Oh, that shit pops in the club," or like, "Oh, that shit snaps." Like when I'm getting ready for work or something, like, and that's cool. That is cool. But I also want people to be like, "Okay, I get what she's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm actually listening to her.
Exactly.
I'm actually like listening to what she's saying, not just the beat or not just the hook." And it's one of those. It's like you get to that point where you're like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do me, and if they like it, they love it.
Exactly. And you brought up another good point there. Like, you know, say for instance you're in a club and, you know, they're playing music. You know, you hear a song that you've never heard before, and you really like it, but the moment that the next song comes on, you forget all about it. And then are you gonna go to your car afterwards and try to find out who that person is?
Find that song. Yeah.
No, are you? No, they're not, because now it was 5 minutes ago and it's in the distant past. And that's, again, that goes back to what you were just saying. They just skim through it. They enjoy the 2 or 3 minutes that they have it with them, and then it's forgotten.
Yep. That's how it happens.
And that's why, you know, I brought up the point at the beginning of the show. In a year from now, because, you know, my favorite band didn't release an album this year because they couldn't tour, am I really going to care about it next year? Yeah, I mean, they're my favorite band. Of course I'm going to. But at the same time, right now I'm pissed at them, because my favorite band, and I've called them out before, I have no problem calling them out again, you know, a week and a half, 2-3 weeks ago, a band by the name of Avenged Sevenfold, which is my favorite band in the entire fucking world, send out an email.
Love that band.
Well, they sent out an email and they said, "Hey, we have our new album ready, but we're not releasing it until we can tour again, because we need to show you how important this music is by supporting it with a tour, and, you know, the stage needs to go along with the music itself." Okay, thank you very much for that update. We appreciate that. But you just told us that you have a new album that you're sitting on, that you're not going to give us anything on until you're ready for a fucking tour.
It should be worth the wait.
Is it worth the wait? Yes. But then they shouldn't have told us about it. We knew that they were working.
But they do that to get you excited.
I'm just
to get you ready.
I'm just pissed, because now I can come on here every day and say, Matt Shadows and Sinister Gates, fuck you. Just give me the goddamn music already.
We just want the music. We don't give a fuck about anything else. We just want the music.
Just give me a 30-second clip just to get something excited about. But no,
you have to trust the process. You have to trust and wait for it. That's why it's so amazing. That's why you love them. That's why they're your favorite. Trust that and just wait on it. Yes, they were a little bit of assholes for sitting on that, but still, at least they were getting you prepared. They're letting you know we have something coming. Yep. Look out for that shit and be ready.
But if, like, they walk through my door right now, I go, "I love you, assholes." I give them big, you know, long distance.
But they would walk through your door with that album in their hand.
They possibly would. Like, as long as y'all sit down for an interview, we can talk. You know, let's do this. No, I talk shit about them, but at the end of the day, I still love them. because I don't want to piss them off and scare them away from my show when I do blow up beyond, this, it's like, hey, come on the show. No, fuck that guy. He talked shit about us when we didn't. No, I was just kidding.
Coming through his door.
I'm just kidding. I retract everything I said. I'll delete every episode.
Delete it all.
No, it's but again, and that's why I'm loving the indie scene this year, because again, they're going out of their way to make sure that they're building a fan base and they're giving us something new. And I do really appreciate, the bands that I've talked to the last 2 months on the show, and you especially right now, because you're just a fucking genuinely awesome human being. I have enjoyed talking to you, and you're so beautiful too. If I didn't say that enough, I can't say that enough. You're so fucking beautiful.
Thank you so much.
That was one thing when I first saw your picture, I was like, damn.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
But anyway, it just shows the type of person that you guys are. And that in order to be like the Avenged Sevenfolds of the world, or the Mary J. Bliges of the world, or the Jay-Z's or Beyonce's of the world, you've got to start from the bottom, and you've got to build that fan base. And you guys are taking advantage of an opportunity right now that was not exactly handed to you, but it was an opportunity that was, given because of bad circumstances. But you know what? You took it. You got to take advantage of the bad situations. If you don't grow and learn from the bad situations, you're just gonna
Stagnant.
Yeah, you're just gonna get stagnant. Yeah, and that's why I've been saying on the show. If you're one of those people, one of the millions that have lost their jobs and are sitting at home right now collecting unemployment, or collecting, a severance package, and sitting there saying, "Woe is me," that's on you. This year has been shit, but if you've been given an opportunity to reinvent yourself and, find who you are as a real human, outside of that job that you may have had for the last 15, 20 years, what have you always wanted to do? Find that passion now.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. This is the year. I feel like this is the year. It's been a horrible year. Yeah. But there are so many lessons and blessings that can come from what we've all gone through as a whole human race, what we've all gone through. If you haven't learned something from this, it's like you're not blocking something. Something is being blocked, because it's like whether there's blessings, there's blessings, and blessings, there's lessons. It's like shit is really bad, but we have to find that positivity that comes from all this storm. We have to find that little bit of a rainbow.
Yeah.
Got to.
And I definitely think that you are one of the rainbows in this year. So I think you are very talented. I love your soul. Like, I feel so connected to you right now. It's you are just amazing, and I've had such a good time talking to you. So what is the plan from here?
The plan from here is to keep going up and keep going up and keep going up.
So EP, LP, what's the plan?
I am working on my album. Are you there?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're fine. You're just
okay,
frozen. You're
frozen.
Fine.
Okay. So I'm working on my album right now. Like I said, my video will be out next week. The single will be out December 10th, by December 10th, and I'm going to keep going and going and going from there. Plan-wise, I don't want to plan. I want to go with the flow. I want to go with the flow. And
that's all anyone can really do at this point. Plan for the best, hope for the best, plan for the worst.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I think regardless, at the end of the day, at the end of the, this whole thing, I think you're going to shine. And I have the highest hopes for you, because you're just a true human that, yeah, you're just awesome. I have like I said, I want to stay connected. I want to continue to talk. And
Likewise.
yeah.
You tagged me, so we'll definitely stay connected.
Yes. Oh yeah, definitely.
Promise.
Because you're
definitely.
Yeah, because you're awesome, and I cannot wait to see what you do next. So, thank you again, Roxanne. You are just a beautiful human, and I appreciate you. You're very, very welcome. You have a lovely rest of your day. Stay healthy, and enjoy your weekend.
And you stay raw and stay real and stay amazing with that beard.
I definitely will.
All right.
Have a good one now. All right, guys. And that is it. That's it for the week. What a week it has been. You know, damn, we've had some good bands, good people, and what a way to end the week with Roxanne. Holy shit, she is just a beautiful soul. And I say that genuinely. So definitely check out her, new single, Rich Rich, and her next one that she said was going to be dropping in December. Check that out as well. But, and check out the video as well. You won't be disappointed. I know I'm sure as hell not by talking to her. So, guys, come back again next week. Short week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Obviously, no Thursday, Friday. But I hope you enjoy your weekend. And we're going to kick your Thanksgiving week off right on Monday with a coffee time Suck It podcast early on Monday at noon, and then the normal show at 8 o'clock Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But we're going to have a double episode on Monday, one at noon with my special guest host, Kat Daniels. And then on Monday night, same time, 8 o'clock, doing our normal thing. But let's go ahead and wrap it up real quick for tonight with nerdy news. So, a couple of things coming out of the DC world. Number one, this is everywhere, so I'm sure everyone's heard this by now. If you haven't, I'm glad I can break the news to you. Wonder Woman 1984, originally supposed to come out on Christmas Day in theaters. It still is, but now it's going to drop on HBO Max as well. So utilize your free week of HBO Max if you haven't already, and take advantage of that Christmas week. Bunch of cool stuff on HBO Max, including the Fresh Prince reunion that just aired the other day. You can catch that as well. So if you haven't used your free week, of HBO Max, your trial yet, wait until, the week of Christmas and catch Wonder Woman 1984. Also in the news, as far as DC Comics goes, rumor has it that in June of 2021, they're closing down DC Publishing, and there will be no more DC Comics. They will only live on through TV and movie. That's the rumor. June of 2021, no more DC Comics. We'll see if that comes to be true or not. And then finally, just announced not too long ago, but Disney and Marvel have announced that Deadpool is in pre-production and in the writing stage with a brand new set of writers, different from Deadpool 1 and 2. However, it will keep the R rating. Yeah. So we got that to look forward to as well. Obviously no release date or anything like that, but everything is confirmed. Ryan Reynolds will be back, and we'll see what we have from there. But there's been a lot more news, but those are just the biggest ones of the week. So we'll see. So Deadpool, Wonder Woman, and the possibility of DC Comics actually shutting down. But you never know with AT&T, so who knows. But that's it for this week. Thank you guys so fucking much. Come back Monday at noon for a special happy hour, coffee hour edition of Suck It Podcast with special guest host Kat Daniels. And then Monday night, your regular edition of Suck It. But until then, I love you. Thank you very much for being here. Stay happy, stay healthy, and as always, stay fucking heavy. We'll see you Monday. Peace.